Hi everyone, this is Simple Test 2, and in this video I'm going to walk you through multiple choice questions 1 through 10. So when we address multiple choice questions, our job is to mark the best answer possible, and therefore to find out the best answer, it's always a very good idea to read each of these choices before marking our final answer. So starting with question number 1. Monetary policy refers to the, choice A, adjustment of government spending and or taxes in order to achieve certain national economic goals. Monetary policy is carried out by the central bank of a country. In the case of Canada, it is Bank of Canada. It is an agent of Canadian government, but it is not actually the Canadian government that carries out this policy. Central Bank of Canada independently carries out these policies, and therefore I cannot take choice A because it is not mentioning the Bank of Canada here. Part B, managing the monetary base and interest rates by the central bank. That sounds like a good choice to me because central bank carries out all these policies. But to be sure, let's just read through the other choices too. C, managing the monetary base and interest rates by Government of Canada. No, I cannot take it because it is not the Government of Canada, but the Central Bank of Canada who carries out all these monetary policies. D, issuing government bonds by Government of Canada. This is not at all what Bank of Canada does, even though Bank of Canada owns lots of government bonds, because historically Government of Canada had been issuing literally billions of dollars of bonds to gather funds, but Bank of Canada doesn't issue the government bonds. The Government of Canada issues these government bonds. So looks like our right choice is B in this case. Question 2. If the Bank of Canada wants to decrease the price level, it could do what? A, increase government expenditures. Again, Bank of Canada does not control government expenditures. Government of Canada controls those. So I cannot take A. B as decrease the money supply. Decrease the supply of money in the economy by buying government bonds. Well, if we want to decrease price level, money supply should be decreased too. That makes sense. However, notice that by buying government bonds and giving commercial banks cash in return would actually generate more money supply, because here Bank of Canada is buying bonds from chartered banks and giving them cash in return. So I cannot take choice B. Choice C, decrease money supply in the economy by selling government bonds to chartered banks. This makes sense to me because by selling government bonds, Bank of Canada can take away cash in return from these chartered banks. In that way, chartered banks will have less cash reserve, and therefore they can give less loans and less money, i.e. deposits will be created in the economy. So this C looks like a good choice. And D says decrease the overnight rate. Well, if Bank of Canada decreases the overnight rate, which is the interbank lending rate, simply the key interest rate, then we know that at lower interest rates there is more tendency for people, firms to borrow money, and more borrowing and lending causes money supply to increase and not decrease. So I cannot take D. Question 3. When money supply increases significantly in Canada, the value of dollar is likely to decrease or increase. I cannot take increase because we know that whenever there is increase of anything, value of that thing should fall. So value of Canadian dollar should decrease when money supply is increasing. And when value of Canadian dollars decrease, net exports are likely to increase, because when Canadian dollars become cheaper, it becomes easier for foreigners to travel to Canada and buy Canadian hotel services, education services, etc. It is easier for China and USA to buy Canadian oil and other commodities and metals and minerals because Canadian dollar is now cheaper. So this looks like a good choice to me. Let's see what C says. Increase, I cannot take increase. Remain constant, I cannot take. Remain constant, even though it remain constant, the net export is likely to remain unchanged. That's not what happens, because money dollar value is dependent on how much supply of dollar there is. Question 4. If an asset is difficult to convert into money, it is less liquid, earning low interest, losing value over time, highly liquid. I would go with less liquid, because definition of liquidity is how easy an asset is to convert into cash. Question 5. Money is a fiduciary in a fiduciary monetary system, i.e. in a fiat monetary system, is backed by what? We saw that under fiduciary or fiat money system, value of money is not backed by gold or silver anymore. It is backed by the power of the state and people's trust and agreement on a government and on a currency. So B looks like a good choice here. Question C. Fractional reserve banking refers to a banking system in which banks keep just a fraction of the deposit as reserve, right? So let's find out. A. Bank reserves are a small fraction of total deposits. This sounds like a good choice to me, but let's keep reading on. B. Bank excess reserves are a small fraction of their reserves. No, that's not the idea here, even though excess reserve is a small fraction of reserves. C. Bank deposits are a small fraction of bank reserves. That is also not the right answer. Bank loans are a small fraction of total deposits. That is not true. Question 7. An increase in money supply typically leads to looks like choice D should be a right answer here. When Bank of Canada pumps in or injects more cash into the banking system, i.e. chartered banks try to find borrowers to take that money as loans, and only way they can entice people to take loans is by offering lower interest rates. Question 8. A bank has $100 million in demand deposits and $30 million of total reserve. If the desired reserve ratio is 20%, the bank has an excess reserve of what amount? So this question is telling us that a bank on its liability side has $100 million of deposits and it has $30 million of total reserves, and that means the rest of the 70 million was used to buy bonds or give loans, etc. So if the desired reserve ratio is 20%, this bank would keep 20% of $100, which is $20 as reserve, but now it is keeping $30 million as reserve. That means the remaining $10 million of reserve is excess reserve for this firm. So looks like this bank has an excess reserve of $10 million. Question 9. A decrease in the desired reserve ratio will do what? Cause money supply to increase? That looks like a logical answer to me, but let's keep reading. B. Cause the money supply to decrease. Decrease money multiplier, no effect on money supply. So we know that if desired reserve ratio is decreasing, that means if banks are keeping less reserve i.e. giving more cash as loans, then more loans would create consecutive bigger amount of deposits, and the total amount of money supply would increase in that case. So I'll take choice A as the correct answer. Question 10 is asking us, the simple money multiplier is equal to, we know the definition of simple money multiplier to be 1 divided by the desired reserve ratio. So let's find out the answer here. Looks like D is the correct answer. It says inverse of the reserve ratio. So let's stop here, and the next video I'll start talking from question number 11. I hope this is helpful to you, and right now I'll say goodbye to you. I'll come back soon.